Welcome to another DIY University by Sally Beauty. I am going to be your friend and host today. My name is Gregory Patterson, celebrity hairstylist and part of the incredible Sally crew team, where we help you get better DIY results at home. This is hair. This is all things hair. Color. This is all things nails. Nails. My friend Asia May just dropped the most incredible nail trend for fall, by the way. So go ahead and check her out. She's one of our Sally crew teammates. But anyway, I hope that this live is coming to you doing well. If you have been in the path of Hurricane Ida, I'm sending you my love. I am sending you recovery. Last night here in New York, it was outrageous. Everything's flooded. So I'm sending you my love wherever you're coming from. And hopefully, I know it's just hair, but sometimes dipping into DIY and a little bit of self-love can make us feel better, even if it's just for a little bit during these times. So I know there are other big things going on in the world. So if you joined us today, thank you so much for joining us and sending you our love from Team Sally Beauty to you all and your recovery efforts. Let's get into the class. Today is the Dish on DIY part deux, where I and Sally Beauty posted a question. Hey, come and ask us your questions. Anything you want or need to know about DIY hair color when you're doing it at home, what you can do, what you can't do, all that good stuff. So we curated what we thought were 5 of the most essential questions. Now, this isn't just for the avid DIYer. If you're new to DIY, today's questions are really going to benefit you as well. And if you've been doing DIY for a while, I know question number 5 for sure is going to be for you. It's one of my most asked questions, and I saved it for last because I ain't giving all my goodies up front. Oh, this is a technique that I learned behind the chair when I was assisting, and it literally changed my life. And I even see so many professionals trying to get over this hurdle with unsuccessful results. So I am going to give you a secret that I only share with my assistants to help them get that coin behind the chair as they are helping me with hair color. Wink, wink. So today we are going to be answering question number 1. Do I have to bleach my brown hair in order to dye it blue? Amazing question. I will get to your answer. Question number 2 will be, how do I decide which developer to use? I love this question because I feel like if you've been here before, you might know the story of developer, and I like to talk about developer in a very specific way, and it's how I approach what developer to use for the technique or the hair color technique I'm using, okay? My allergies are a little bit on blast today, so if I feel a little cookie, you're just gonna have to roll with it because, you know, it is what it is. I didn't want to not be here for you all. So question number 3, does this developer or color work on textured hair? I love this question so much because, you know, so many of you with textured hair might be afraid to dip into the hair color world because you might think that it is so damaging to your hair, which it can be if you don't approach it the right way. But I'll get into that in question number 3 a little bit later. Please stay around if you have textured hair and you've been thinking about doing some fun or even natural color to your hair, okay? Question number 4 today is going to be, how many times can I layer color on top of color? This is a must stick around question because there are some rules and laws of hair color that you need to know that I only got access to by paying $25,000 to go to beauty school. So I'm going to open up that chapter and give you a little bit of that information so that you can expect achievable, believable, and desirable hair color results at home, okay? And finally, the last question, question number 5 is, you're going to have to stick around for that, okay? Because that's my little genie in a bottle trick, and I am going to help you. Oh, there's my microphone. Hey. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. So question number 1. Do I have to bleach my brown hair in order to dye it blue? Okay, that was the original question, but let's stretch that out to any color that you want, right? Including natural. This is all your pastels, your vivids, everything. Beautiful question. The answer is yes and no, and I ordered something to try to help explain what I'm about to explain here, okay? So, I don't know why. When I saw this question, I immediately went to these transparencies like in an overhead projector from when I was in school. I've also learned that people with challenges with reading and keeping the words on the page, that sometimes putting a specific color over the sheet helps the words stay together on the page. I was just blown away by that. So the more you know, right? So I ordered them for this demonstration. If you need them for reading, get them there too. So many cool things when it comes to investigating these questions for you. So let me show you with blue, because that was the original question. So you have brown hair, right? Let's say you walk into the aisles at Sally Beauty and you're going through the hair color aisle and you're like, wow, I love that blue shade, and I want my hair to be this blue shade. By the way, this is our Ion Bright Sapphire. We have cyan, we have teal, we have jade, all colors of blue. I just happen to grab this one right now because it looks very similar to this, okay? So let's say you have brown hair and you saw that beautiful blue sitting on the shelf at Sally Beauty. Well, what you saw was a white swatch that was colored blue. So you can see that, right? So that is the true tone of blue on white hair. Now we do those swatches on white so you can see the true tone of what is in that bottle. If you have brown hair, here's two tones, right? So let's say this honey caramel tone, and you just put your blue color on top, yes, it's going to be blue. Will it be as punchy and vibrant as that white color swatch? Absolutely not. What's going to happen is that blue is going to mix in with the existing tones and pigment of your current hair color, okay? Artificial or natural. So if you layer blue on top, it will absorb some of that color. So this then guides you into how vibrant, bold, and punchy do I want that vivid, that pastel, that blue, or even just that natural tone to be. You have to consider the underlying pigment in the hair. So do you want it that beautiful cyan, that beautiful magenta, that beautiful aqua? Then it is recommended to lighten your hair up to a level 9, a level 10. We don't want to go beyond that, because anything when we lift beyond that pale yellow color, I like to reference the inside of a banana peel. That's the perfect color for lifting hair, okay? So get it as light as you want and as you can, okay, to give the most vibrancy. Let's say it's red that you wanted, okay? Here's my white shade. Here's the red. You're going to get that delicious, beautiful, true tone right through there. But if you have brown hair and you just want to layer it on top, look what happens. It's a little bit deeper in tone because the contributing pigment. Now, let's have another conversation here with your vivid and pastel existing tones. Let's say you went mermaid toned, right? I love this wig, by the way. I bought one for my sister too, and sometimes we FaceTime each other and we'll just wear our wigs together. It's so much fun. Get you a wig if you don't have a wig. It will change your life. But okay, so let's say that you have this beautiful mermaid-inspired tone and you wanted to change color. P.S. And by the way, Charity Grace, one of our Sally crew members, she pretty much wears her hair in these tones, and she has some insane videos on what happens when you layer this color on top of a fade-out color, and you kind of just have to accept the color that's going to happen unless you bleach out your hair again, okay? So let's say you have this green or this blue down at the bottom, and you wanted to put yellow on top. Watch what happens to that blue as you add that yellow tone. Do you see? It turns green because of that blue that's undertoned and the yellow laying on top. You will get a beautiful new shade of a greenish, a mintish, a pastelish tone. So again, even when you are layering on top of your vivids, either refreshing or going a whole new color, you must consider the underlying contributing pigment. Does that make sense? If you don't know, now you know. I hope you know. So when you are at the aisle and in Sally Beauty or you're shopping online like I do, consider your hair history and journey. Where am I at right now? Where do I want to go? And what do I need to do to get there? If you want a total and complete color change, you will need to lighten your hair. And the rules of hair color are this. Color does not lift hair color. I don't care if you are a level 3, a dark brown, right? Let's say you're a level 3 right over here, okay? And you want to go to a level 6, just 3 shades lighter. And you find this beautiful swatch sitting on the shelf at Sally Beauty, and you're like, yes, I want that color. You cannot grab that color, put it on top of your darker hair, and use a 40 volume thinking, well, it's going to lift way up there because it's 40 volume. That doesn't work. Color does not lift color. The only way to lift color is by lightening your hair with lightener, aka bleach, okay? Now, there are some color removers out there. I personally am not a fan of color removers at all. To me, I can't control them, and I love controlling. And so I'd rather you, that sounded funny. I love control. I'm not a control freak, but when it comes to hair color, I'm a control freak, okay? I want to control that. And I find that when you use lightener, like bleach with 10 volume and a little bit of shampoo, or bleach and 20 volume and a little bit of shampoo, I like the results of that better because not only does the lightener break up any unprocessed dye molecules from your previous color, but you can also see it happening, and it's a lot more gentle and a lot more stable. So that's just some extra information for you. So rule here, color does not lift color. So you cannot grab that color that you want if you have darker artificial color and think that it's going to lift and change that color right there. Okay. Now, let's change gears here. I hope that answered your question. Layering, all that good stuff. So let's get into question number 2. If you do need any more clarification, hit me up in my DMs on social, on Instagram. I'll help you out. How to decide which developer do I use? This is a great segue. So developers come in level 10, level 20, level 30, and level 40. This is the Ion Cream developer. I absolutely love this developer. It's gentle, it's creamy, it's delicious. So what is developer exactly? Developer is what I like to think of as the energy that is brought to the color in that bowl. So if you are using a demi-permanent or permanent hair color, you have to use hydrogen peroxide, which is developer. It's a hydrogen peroxide and oxygen and usually some other like amino acids, which are proteins that help keep the structure of the hair really strong. But you have to use this liquid to activate. It's the catalyst that starts the activation process. So what happens is it allows the cuticle of your hair to open up. So think of the cuticle as like little shingles on a rooftop. Excuse me, allergies. Gonna have some coffee here. And we back. So think of your cuticles as shingles on a rooftop, right? When you are using 10 volume, I like to think of this as just a little bit of energy. So almost like if the wind is just blowing the shingles and they're just trying to flap open, right? Now, let's say you use 20 volume. That's a little more energy. 10 volume is great for deposit only, and just enough to open the cuticle, just enough that we could sneak that dye molecule underneath and then let it sit there and do its job, okay? You really don't get a lot of lift. You get just a little lift with deposit. It's just enough gate opening to get that color molecule in there. Now, 20 volume, we can expect about 1 to 2 levels of lift. And so let's say it's a little gustier wind. So the cuticles on your hair are starting to open up a little bit more. So this is great because it gives access, a lot more access to the cortex of the hair. So the hair cuticle is what you see that gets frizzy. This is a protein structure that is the strength and protection of the inside of your hair. So if your hair is very dull, this means your cuticle is really raised up. And what we want to do to create shiny hair, think of a flat iron, is we take that cuticle and we slam it down really tight so that it's reflective. It's almost like a glass surface, okay? So the purpose of developers is to open up, crack open that cuticle, open it up so we can get our dye molecules in there to mix with the existing melanin, the color that is inside of the cortex of the hair. It does this cool little like tornado effect. All the dye molecules find each other. The red finds what it needs to. It bursts open. Then the blue comes in at the right time and attaches when it needs to. The yellow explodes at the right time. And once the 35 to 45 minutes is up, it says, okay, we good, we're done. And the cuticle starts to shut down. The dyes stop popping open and stop bonding together to form the new color. And then once you rinse, that lowers the pH and the cuticle starts to go to sleep again and lock into place, okay? So that's why it's so important to choose the right developer. I never, ever, ever will use 40 volume on top of bleach, ever. I rarely even use 30 volume. Again, I like to control and protect the integrity of the hair. So if I'm using 10 volume or 20 volume, maybe 30 volume, and little tip and trick, you can mix developers. So you can mix a 20, 1 ounce, 1 ounce of 30 to make a 25. So there is that customizing that you can do, that creating you can do to just oomph up your developer a little bit without going full on. Slow and steady wins the race, y'all, when it comes to hair color and your hair journey. So make sure that you know what technique you're using, what color you need, and if it requires developer. If it does, am I depositing? Am I lifting 1 to 2 shades, 2 to 3 shades, or 3 to 4 shades? Then you can choose your developer from that. So hope that answers your question. Oh, cool. Okay, question number 3. Does this developer or color work on textured hair? This is a brilliant and beautiful question, and whoever asked this question, thank you for asking it. Let me talk to you about hair for a minute. Hair is all comprised of the exact same thing. So whether you have baby fine, mousy, almost see-through hair, or you have the most delicious head of kinks and coils and curls and like your pineapple on top is that big around, right? And that's around the base that you secure it. It's just so thick. Whatever your hair is, it is all comprised of the exact same thing. And it also needs the exact same things, just at different levels. So hair needs protein, that's the strength, and moisture, that's the flexibility, okay? So when it comes to coloring textured hair, yes, all of this hair color is beautiful and designed for all hair types, all hair textures. Developer is also designed and developed for all hair types, all hair textures. Here's where you might find your challenge. Because kinky, coily, wavy, curly hair, I have wavy hair, curly hair, because it is tighter wound and has more distance to travel, right? The cuticle, the protective layer, is so much stronger. So you might find that there's a bit of resistance to opening up that cuticle and getting that color or lightener in your hair. It's designed to protect you naturally. You're born that way, baby. And the creator of all of this magic said, you have such delicate, delicious hair. I need to put another layer of protection on there because the journey is a little bit longer and we just need a little more protection, protect the melanin on the inside and the pigments, all that deliciousness, okay? So you might find that what would take a fine straight hair texture one time to achieve the result, you might have to take 2 or 3 times. So I want you to really consider that on your hair journey to hair color, because you might not be able to achieve that desired result the first time. But slow and steady wins the race. It protects your delicious kinks, curls, coils, waves, and it'll get there. You'll get there. You'll be able to achieve these results. Just keep in mind, slow and steady wins the race, and always give the hair the love and nourishment that it needs, which is both protein, strength, and moisture, you all. You have to find a perfect balance between both so that hair is fed what it needs, strength and protein. Okay, so yes, yes, and yes. Thank you for that beautiful question. Now, the next question, question number 4, how many times can I add color on top of color? Well, let's go back to our trusty little swatch here. And for this, excuse me, coffee break again. If you have a little coffee break, by the way, these cups, you're probably going to get in trouble for this. It's a yogurt cup, but they're handmade and they're all like clay, and they make the most perfect coffee cups. So there's another tip for you. Okay, so here's the white swatch. So let's say that I'm going to have to balance this. Let's say that please hold. Let's say that I wanted to go a really cool shade of yellow, okay? So here's my lightness. I added yellow. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's spring, it's summer, it's all that good stuff. Oop, fall vibes coming in, fall vibes, pumpkin macchiato's coming in. And now I wanted to add a little bit of like, you know, pumpkin spice latte up in the mix. So I decided to do red on top, but I didn't remove the yellow. So now what happened is I start to build on an orange tone, okay? So now this is taking on an orange tone. Not quite what I wanted. I was looking more for a red, but if you didn't remove the yellow and it was still hiding in the hair, you will take on this orange tone, okay? So let's say you were thinking, oh, I want to change it up again, and, you know, I want this really cool blue tone. Look what's happening to the hair. It is getting so muddy and almost neutral, almost a brown, right? Because when you layer all the colors of the color wheel together, what happens is you get brown. So if you have red, yellow, and then you layer red, and then you take blue, look what happens. It starts to muddy out, right? And then you add a color that has a green base to it. Well, now you're left with like brown. So to answer the question, how many times can you layer color on top of color? There are no rules. It's indefinite, right? But you must be mindful of what happens with the rules and laws and theory of color. So if you want to transition your hair color, you may have to remove your hair color by using lightener and a low volume developer like 10 or 20, just enough to break up some of that dye molecule to remove a lot of that base that may be living under there, okay? So just some things to consider. So there are no rules. Let's say you're using permanent hair color. The more permanent hair color, and let's say it's a natural tone, when you keep adding color on top of color on top of color, I want you to think of it similarly to a manicure. If you never remove that underlying color, it's just going to build layer on top of layer on top of layer. And then the results are going to be, not, what's the word? The word just slipped out of my head. You won't know where you're headed, right? So clean the canvas if you can, or stick to one shade and play one shade higher or one shade lower. That way you could play in a family of color, and you could switch and play with the tones. They complement and work really well with one another, because if they're sitting at that level 6 and you go up to 7 or down to 5, there's not a lot of difference in there. Excuse me, maybe just a difference of like a little more blue or a little more gold up at the top. Okay, so I hope that answers your question there. One more sip of coffee. I'm hanging in. I'm hanging in. Okay, we back. Now, the final question. Da, 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 da. I have become my clients' best friends when it comes to this little trick. The question is, how do I remove that hair color stain from my hairline or my hands that just won't go away? I thought you never asked. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First things first, and you have to, I'm scooting my chair for this one. You have to follow these rules as is, or it's over, okay? So yes, there are stain remover products out there. There's like some face wipes. There's some stain remover stuff. I don't think they work. And if you use this trick, you're gonna be set up for success every time, okay? So first things first, before you apply your hair color, I want you to go around your hairline all over. See, I even did it with this girl, okay? I even did it on a mannequin head so she doesn't stain. Take your conditioner, your normal conditioner. What we're doing is applying a barrier cream. So what I want to do, I need a clip. Somebody got a clip it here. Okay, so here, I'm going to go here, right up close. So take your conditioner and put it against the skin, making sure not to touch the hair that you'll be coloring. Because if you get conditioner on the hair, you're going to be putting a barrier there and you won't be able to get that great coverage, okay? Then apply your hair color. Now, here's the trick, and you have to do it exactly this way, okay? When your color has completed processing, ding, timer goes off, we good to rinse. Go to the shampoo bowl. Do not get your hair wet yet. I repeat, do not even turn the water on, okay? So you have all that color around the hairline. You are going to take shampoo. Yes, shampoo. Do not get it wet yet. This is all dry. We have not turned on the water. Take your shampoo. This can be real gross and mushy. It feels gross when you do this, but I promise you, you will be fine. Take your shampoo, put it directly onto the hair color, okay? Directly onto the hair color. You are going to mush it. Mush that shampoo into the hairline, into the hair color. You are going to see that hair color mush all over your skin, right? Mush, mush, mush. No water yet, okay? Then I want you to get a towel. I want you to put more shampoo on your towel. And then I want you to mush, 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 mush. Then take the dry part of your towel, no water yet, and then wipe it away. You will have zero stains. There will be no stains. You will be stain free. You will send me a bouquet of C's candy, and you will say, you have saved my level 1 dark black hairline from ever staining again. This is a fail-proof procedure that will guarantee remove your hair color stains only when you follow that exactly. If you get water onto the skin at any point during this, boom, the color oxidizes onto the skin. It's over. So no water, no water, no water. Shampoo, shampoo, shampoo. Wipey, wipey, mushy, mush. Wipey, wipey. I mean, you've got to work it in and wipe it off. Then proceed with your rinsing. But you will lose this battle. If water touches the color, touches the skin, it instantly will oxidize. And it's over. And I'll be telling you, I told you so. It is over after that. Okay? So I hope that all of your future hair color endeavors will be stain free and, a hairline that's ready for your next selfie. You're welcome. That tip has been brought to you by my 20 years in the hair business. And you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. C's candy. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, that's it. That's all the questions. Those are our top 5 questions that we thought you, our whole community could learn from and kind of level up from. I want to open this up now. I'm looking at the time here. It looks like we have about 7 to 8 minutes. I want to open this up to you all to ask any clarification questions that you may have from our, do I have to bleach my hair in order to dye it blue? How do I decide what developer? Does this developer color work on texture hair? How many times can you layer color on top? And how do you remove stains from the hairline? Okay, so let's open this up to any questions, comments, concerns. Asia May, my friend. Y'all, this is my friend, my girl, Asia May, who just dropped the coolest and latest fall nail trends. Make sure you go and follow her on her Insta. And also she's part of our Sally crew. She is asking, can demi-permanent show up on brown hair? Great question. The answer is yes, but you have to select the right level and the right tone. So demi-permanent is just a more gentle form, but demi-permanent requires an activator. So that little 10 volume, sometimes it's like 2.5 or 5%. So it's just enough to open the cuticle to deposit tone, right? Demi-permanent is like a deposit-only way to add a ton of shine and a hue change. So if you have level 3 and below, very, very dark brown hair, chocolatey hair, if you are using a level 9 demi-permanent that's golden, no, it will not show up on your hair because there's not enough pigment in that to make any great change. What you will notice is an insane amount of shine. So if your hair is lacking luster, maybe your curls seem a little dehydrated or frizzy, put a clear gloss on top of your hair, a clear toner, a clear glaze, a clear gloss. They all the same thing. It is a demi-permanent without pigment that deposits beautiful amounts of shine and seals the cuticle. So to answer your question, you can slightly alter the hue of it. So let's say you're golden and want a little more copper or a little more red. Demi-permanent is an incredible choice to choose from when you're shopping for hair color. Great question, Asia May. I love you, miss you, girl. Can't wait to work with you again. Okay. Any other questions we have coming through? Miss Mary and Marlene, how do you get pastel colors to work in your hair? So I don't know if you just joined, but pastel colors, vivid colors, natural colors, color is color. So I don't know what you mean by how to work in your hair. Maybe you're saying how to show up in your hair. I would need to know what level hair color are you now and what do you want to be? This goes to question 2 and to question number 1. If you want vibrant pastel hair color, you're going to have to lift your hair color up. And if you have existing hair color on your hair, the only way to do that is by bleaching your hair. So that's the answer to that. If you're just joining this, I want you to watch this video again because I really went into depth with question 1 and question 2. That might help you there, okay? And if you're still stuck, reach out to me in my DMs on social media at Gregory Patterson Hair on Instagram, and I will help you, okay? So let's do another question. Miss Chris, is there any way to be able to cover roots of brown black hair without getting the red tones? Absolutely there is. Again, this question, you have to be mindful of your developer and your base tone of the color that you're using. If you have resistant gray hair and you are using 30 volume or 40 volume, you opened up the cuticle way too much. All the cows are running out of the gate. And the more energy you bring to the hair, the more it accesses the underlying contributing pigment. So if you are looking to avoid red, you have to go opposite the color wheel and use a green base to your color. So let's say you want a level 6 ash tone, but the ash, there are several tones of ash. There's blue ash, there's violet ash, there's blue violet ash, there's blue green ash. So are you orangey red or are you red? If you are red when you pull, right, you have to go exactly opposite and get green. You might be thinking, I don't want my hair to turn green. It won't, because your red is so available. You have to have the green to neutralize, right? So here we are. Red, I don't want red. I have to use green in order to cancel that and make it brown. Do you see what I'm saying there? So, there you go. And also developer, 20 volume is enough for gray coverage. 30 volume sometimes, but you might be opening up the gate too much and the cows of color might be running out free. Okay, so keep that in mind. Again, if you have any questions or need more help, drop into my DMs. Oh, cool. That's it. Thank you for your questions, you guys. I had so much fun building this class for you, and I am so grateful to all of you who wrote to us and participated in these questions. This is part 2. Maybe we need a part 3. Just let us know. I would be happy to build another class for you all. And thank you for joining these DIY University by Sally Beauty classes. They're so much fun. I love sharing knowledge and everything I've collected along the way with you all. It is an absolute passion and pleasure of mine. So thank you for tuning in. Always, 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 you can join us over on our Facebook channel and YouTube. Over on our YouTube, we have an insane playlist of not only these DIY University by Sally Beauty classes, but so many other tutorials, DIY tips and tricks and techniques that live over there, and they're categorized beautifully so you can find what you need over there. Also, fall's around the corner. I want to know, what are you doing with your hair this fall? There are some beautiful jewel tones happening this fall season. Of course, Ion Hair Color, Eero, Color Lux, Shine Drops, Good Die Young, Arctic Fox. We have so many, over 1,200 shades to choose from at Sally Beauty. So really, the palette is yours to play with. We want you to have fun, and we want you to tag us in your look. So tag me, tag Sally Beauty, all that good stuff. I hope you learned a little something today. And always, you can shop 24/7 on sallybeauty.com. That's how I shop. I actually shop the app. And you can always buy online and pick up in store, or we would love to see you in one of our stores. Come meet some of our beauty advisors. And if you're having a little challenge and don't know where to go, they are a perfect place for you to get the answers that you need. Okay? For now, that's it. Join me over on my Instagram, Gregory Patterson Hair. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned a little something, something. I love you all. Be safe, be healthy, be well. Breathe, take care of yourself, and we'll see you on the next DIY University by Sally Beauty. Peace out!